Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another checklist vlog. This week's vlog is going to be on the Final Destination filming locations. Let's go check those out. Alright, you guys, we have made it to our first location for this week's checklist. This is where Isaac would have went to go get his acupuncture and he would have fell off. You can see these 3 windows right here. They would have been rounded, as well as this fancy little light post, and that means that yes, we are in Gastown in downtown Vancouver. Now down the road you would have also seen right in here, you would have seen the group standing talking to Tony Todd as they wheel off Isaac into the coroner's van. Alright, let's go check it out, get a little bit of a closer look. Now, you would have seen Isaac walk right down the road here, and he would have stopped and looked right over here to walk in. Okay guys, so right behind me is where you would see the crew after they found out that Isaac is passed away, and they would have stood right here. You can tell by these 2 different brick walls behind me, and the building itself where the door is and the window. I'll throw it up right here. And they would have been talking to one of the heavyweights of the franchise who's in multiple of the franchise's sequels. They would have been talking to Tony Todd, and I'll flip the camera around and show you where he would have been standing. Now this would have been right where the coroner's van would have been, and Tony Todd would have been standing right here. Now the way you can tell is you can obviously see the lamppost and this awning right here for this building. He would have been standing right here, and you can tell because this is right behind him. Alright, and just like that, we are finished and we are moving on to our next location that's still downtown. That'll be on Granville Street. Let's get there. So this location would have been where Sam works in the movie. And outside is Granville Street. And Granville Street was used heavily in the movie. You can see Sam walking down to get to his shift, as well as you can see the police officer on the street getting out of his car. The way you can tell is not only by the street lights, but you can also tell by the storefronts, like Leo's camera shop right here, that's still standing there today with the same sign. Now, what's really cool about this restaurant location is that the interiors were also shot there. So you can go in, have a drink, or eat some food in a real life filming location. Totally wild. Sorry guys that I had to do some voiceover, but the bar that was actually the bar that Sam worked at in the movie was blaring some Drake tunes, and I didn't want to get hit for a copyright strike, but super cool place. So we have made it to Stanley Park. Right behind me you can see the Lionsgate Bridge. This would have been the bridge that the bus would have crossed over and it would have fallen apart. But we can't really get a great look at it right here, so let's try and get a little bit of a closer look. Alright you guys, here we are at Prospect Point. As you can see, this is the bridge right here. Now, in a couple of the shots, you can see right down here, let me see, right here, you can see this gray bridge as they're getting off of the bridge, like running off. Now, in the scene, they would have been driving right across. You would have seen this part of the bridge right here in the shot, and they would have been driving over. You would have seen the lights, and there would have been road work happening. But yeah, they would have been running down this bridge trying to get off. And that's the big set piece for this movie, really. They filmed a lot of it in a studio, but it's still pretty cool that they used the Lionsgate Bridge and didn't CGI over it to make it the Golden Gate or anything. It was just a little piece of Vancouver history thrown right in this big budget movie. Alright you guys, so we have made it to our last location for this week's checklist. This is where they would have boarded the coach bus and where they also would have had breakfast before going on the bridge. So this right here would have been where the breakfast would have been held, and you can actually see a lot of the actors would have been right here. The sign would have been right here on that little piece. Now I'm standing where the breakfast table would have been, and right over here you can see 2 of the characters. You can see the sign behind them and where they were standing right here, as well as this is where the coach bus would have been. So right here behind me is where Sam would have walked up to Molly as she pulled into the parking lot, and Molly would have told them that they broke up. Right here is where her car would have been parked. I mean, I think the most wild part about doing these videos is learning about the places that are just hiding in industrial parks. And last week we went to Stanley Park, and it was right there down a trail where we found the dam, where the Losers Club built their dam. Which, if you haven't seen that video, check out the link up top. But yeah, this is such a blast, checking out places that I never even knew existed, let alone a big budget movie was filmed right here. Wild. All right, let's get out of here. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this week's checklist. Next week, we're going to go check out some more filming locations. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. But go out, have yourself a great week, and I'll meet up with you next week.